All right, I think we're about ready to get started. So if you guys want to come hang out on the chairs over here, around tables, or if you're really comfortable there, that's okay too. I'll just sort of hand many around people. Yeah, the chairs aren't scary. You can come get friendly and things. There's not too many of us.
All right, so we have a schedule. It's official. Tentative, depends on kind of how many actual demos we have, but I'm going to talk a little bit about Pebble, kind of get a feel for who knows what Pebble is, like how far into development people are, and then Yuriy is going to come talk about EffectLibrary, which is really cool. This is Yuriy. He's one of our rockstar developers. And then we're going to do demos from the community. So if you have something that you've made, whether it's something you started last night or something you've been working on for years, that's awesome. We want to see what you've been doing. And then Wukash and Wukash also works at Pebble. We are going to decide what is the best demo that we think totally deserves to be on Pebble Time. So we have a lovely Pebble Time right over here. It's actually a mystery color. I have no idea. And then Alessandro is from Grove in our beautiful event space that we are here. I hope you had a chance to look outside because it's gorgeous outside. He's going to talk a little bit about engineering at Grove. And then we're going to announce who the winner is and then have more. We have lots of beer and sodas and way more little tiny delicious empanadas. So hang around and talk to us afterwards. So who knows what Pebble is? I'm just going to go with some really basic questions. Do you know what Pebble is? This weird smartwatch thing people are wearing? Cool. Who's a developer? Almost all of you. Okay, who has developed something or at least kind of played around with their SDK before? Okay, cool. So I'm talking to a fairly knowledgeable audience. So I don't have to go about, there's 4 hardware buttons and there's a magnetometer. All right, so you've pretty much all seen this stuff. I won't go through that. We did a Kickstarter recently. Who backed the Kickstarter? Awesome. Wow, this is really cool. All right, so we made a little bit of money there, and we have just some basic comparisons. Hey, we're in color now. We have a microphone, still same wonderful buttons that you're all aware of, accelerometer, compass, all that fun stuff, same resolution. And then we have timeline. So, timeline, who has played with their Pebble Time already? Okay, so you guys probably kind of already know all this stuff. Just gonna kind of make sure that you know, if you are interested in development and you haven't played around with it yet, we have a C SDK, and we also have a JavaScript library that you can play around with if C is a little bit too intimidating for you. It's called Pebble.js. It's really easy to get started. We have this really great service called cloudpebble.net. And on Cloud Pebble, it's an online IDE. You can basically go interactive code completion. You can click on things to get documentation. It's really great. And you can hit a button in less than 5 minutes to get your application running. So you can also use PebbleKit to integrate with already existing mobile applications. So if you are a mobile developer and you already have an application and you want Pebble to be involved with that, maybe you want to make a component of that application or some kind of integration, we have PebbleKit Android, PebbleKit iOS, and then just PebbleKit JS if your app needs to make calls, HTTP, etc. So this is what Cloud Pebble looks like before you go and dive on in. And we're kind of just curious in general to see what you make. So these meetups are to bring people together. We want to see the community. We want to see all your smiling faces, and we want to know what you are all building. So we bring people like Yuriy, who's been doing this for a while and being really active in our community and on the forums. We have a Slack channel, which is really, really active every day, all day. And a bunch of us from Pebble are there as well. So if you want real immediate feedback on what you're working on, or hey, I have this idea, this has already been done before, Slack is a really, really great way to do that. So come talk to me if you want to be invited to that channel. And I also have a couple Pebbles. We have some original black and white Pebbles in black and white. If you don't have a Pebble and you're kind of curious to get started developing, they're $50. They're technically refurb units because they were used at Hackathon, and then we give them for $50 to folks like you. So I have those over at the table if you want to talk to me afterwards. But for now, I just want Yuriy to come up and talk a little bit about EffectLayer.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey everybody, my name is Yuriy Galenter. I'm a software developer by trade. It's my daytime job. And coding for Pebble is my hobby. It's pretty much became a passion. It's very addictive. It's very hard to stop once you start, and it's a lot of fun. I'm a developer of EffectLibrary. It's a visual effect library for Pebble. Using just a few lines of code, you can add very special text to it. I began developing it as a replacement for the inverter layer. As you know, in SDK 3 on Pebble time, inverter layer is depreciated, it's no longer there, and I still wanted to use it, so I created this library, and then thought, why not to make it an open platform, a framework where other effects can be added. So I added a couple more effects like vertical and mirror rotation, and so the library was born. Okay. When I say that I am the creator, I should rather say I am one of the creators. Since the inception, since I created it, other developers joined in, and these guys brought a lot of cool stuff, additional cool effects like 90-degree rotation, blur, FPS, and also they made the library very effective in a way that now it's a pay-to-play library. It compiles into binary only the effects that you actually use, which saves you memory and resources. And also gave you the ability to add your own effects. You can create your own effect, add it on the fly, and it's right there. So it's, again, pretty straightforward. Currently, the library has 30 effects. The names pretty much speak for themselves, but I go briefly over them. Invert works exactly the same way as the original inverter layer. Invert black and white. If you develop a color watch face, it leaves the colors intact, and inverts just black and whites because sometimes you want to just change that. Invert brightness is a really cool one. It inverts the brightness of the color, preserving the hue. So for example, if you have a dark blue, it becomes light blue. Dark red becomes light red. So it's kind of a flip on off light switch. It's pretty cool one. Vertical horizontal mirror allows you to flip content of the light, whatever layer is over. Rotate 90 degrees allows you to rotate content. Contour and top lights. Blur, it's applies blur effect, and it actually can make font anti-aliasing. It's pretty cool. Zoom allows you to zoom in on the content. Lens allows you to apply a lens distortion effect. Mask is a really cool one. It allows you to designate part of the screen as transparent, whether text or image, doesn't matter what it is, to show you a bitmap through the transparent mask. FPS, frames per second allows you to show your frame rate. It's called for demos. Shadow allows you to draw a shadow of any content on the screen, and outline actually shows an outline. So initially, when I designed the library, I created a few proof of concept prototypes, but then decided to do some real life application and create a few actual watch faces using the library. The watch faces, I'm going to showcase some of them, and all of them are available in Pebble App Store if you want to try them. Also, all of them are accompanied by the source code, so you can download or exit, hide it. And with some exception, all of this works on both original Pebble and Pebble type. So Duke is a very basic watch face. It pretty much consists of 2 text layers for hours and minutes, and then 2 effect layers applied on top of that, and simply rotate the content 90 degrees. So this is a very basic view of 90-degree effect. So I don't know if everybody can see this, but pretty much first you create 2 text layers. In this case, create color layer is the helper function I did because I needed to call multiple times. Internally, it's just create the layer, assigns text, color, stuff like that. So once text layers are created, I simply create effect layer, add effect. You see, it's a 90-degree rotate effect. I pass the parameter, in this case false and true, whether I want it to be rotated contour clockwise. and simply add the layer to the screen. That's it. All you have to do to rotate part of the screen 90 degrees. And let me see if I can show how it looks on the real watch. This is the real line where watch face. So this is the basic 90-degree rotated. TV time actually showcases two effects from effect layer. One is the inverter layer. If you can take a look at the grid in the bottom of TV, this is actually battery meter. It runs an effect an inverter layer, and once the battery percentage goes down, layer decreases in size, showing you the whatever the current battery percentage is. And also on Pebble time, I'm applying additional blur effect on the actual text of the time and date, giving the font nice blurry anti-aliasing effect. And this is how it's done. First of all, since I can apply blur only on Pebble time, I'm including additional compiling. But the rest is, again, pretty straightforward. I create a layer, I add it with function blur, and in this case, parameter is radius of the blur. I want it to be very basic, not too distorted, so I'm pressing 1. And I'm adding the layer to the screen. Note that I'm using a particular add effect. You can add multiple effects into the same layer, so you can chain them together. And for battery, I'm creating an effect layer. I'm assigning inverter layer. It doesn't have any parameters, so I'm just passing null as a parameter. And I'm adding layer to the screen. This is how it's done. And again, let me show you how to use another watch. This much the look of the face. You can see inverter layer in action. You can see blur layer in action. A simple stripe shows a mask effect that I mentioned before. It actually designates part of the screen, in this case, the text of the time and date as a transparent, and then shows a bitmap through the transparent mask. In case of classic Pebble, it's a bitmap of just simple black and white stripes. In the case of Pebble time, it's a bitmap with color stripes. And, this can be a text, this can be an image, can be anything, and this can create really cool effects. And let me show how it's done. So first, we need to create, in this case, parameter is the structure. So I need to assign a couple of properties to the parameter first. The most important properties is which color of content of the screen I designate as transparent. In this case, is white. And which bitmap I'm going to pass to show through. And I'm assigning parameter normal and creating through from resources here. Once the parameter is set, again, I'm simply creating the layer. I'm adding the effect, and I'm passing the mask as the parameter, and adding the layer to the window. Note that I'm passing the function as the effect type. If you create your own function, you can pass it easily to the effect here and take it as a native. But if you do create something cool, don't keep it to yourself. Please fork the repository and add your effort to the library. I really appreciate it. And again, let me show you how it looks in the table. Can you post that again? Okay, sorry about this. Actually, need to understand show this. This is how it looks on the real table. And start the presentation. this is common. It also uses the mask effect, but instead of showing a static bitmap, it actually uses the PNG sequence where each frame is retrieved from animated PNG and shown through the transparent text like the one before. I'm actually using the PNG example from Pebble developer website. They have a pretty good example of how to use the PNG to animate it. And I just flagged effect layer on top of that. And let me show you how it's done. So like before, I'm creating the mask parameter. I'm designating the white color as a transparent one. But in this case, I'm not using any text layer on the screen itself because mask itself is capable of holding text. If it's something simple, I can use text on mask itself. So again, I'm creating the layer and adding it into the screen. Tick handler should be familiar to most of you. This is pretty much a time tick event handler. But when I'm getting the time text, instead of assigning it to text layer, I'm assigning it to text of the mask. This is how, initially at this point, the text is displayed in white color on the screen. But then a PNG sequence kicks in, and every time a new bitmap is retrieved, it is assigned to the bitmap background of the mask. So what happens eventually, mask shows through the transparent text, giving you an animated frame effect. I'm sure how it looks like. And I'm going to make a suspicion that this is not a battery-friendly place, so be careful. Big flip-flop is one of my favorite ones, and one of the reasons is this phase actually uses 4 different libraries. This is open source and developer collaboration really in action. First of all, it uses bitmap resizing and flip layer by Gregory to create this nice flip animation effect. Second, it uses the bitmap coloring library by Jonathan, who is the famous author of the music box application. Initially, the search phase was designed for black and white original Pebble only, and all these numbers are bitmaps. When I was porting it to color Pebble, I was facing this dilemma: how to make those images of any color. Should I create a resource for every possible color? It's not really feasible. And thankfully, Jonathan opened library. We can actually recolor image on the fly into any possible color. This is what is known here. And I'm using the effect layer as before to invert the entire screen, so you can pretty much adjust the face to your specification. At this point, library acquired a really nice macro for the inverter layer. If you saw my demos before, I have to actually create an inverter layer, effect layer, assign it an inverter effect, then add it to the form. In this case, if you take a look at the code, and if you're familiar with inverter layer on SDK 2, you won't see any difference. It's exactly the same, but under the hood, this code actually uses the effect layer with inverter. So right now, it has a convenient macro. If you have a watch face that you want to put SDK 3 that uses inverter layer, you can use it easily without changing the code, just add the reference to the library. This is what it looks like. Yeah, so this is the original face, and let's see if we can load the config. And this is the inverted layer and color screen actually. Okay. Long shadow watch face shows the shadow effect in action. It's actually based on the stopwatch phrase from Android LGG watch. I was trying to create something similar. This is how I come up with the shadow effect. It works both on the original Pebble and Pebble time. But of course, on Pebble time, you can designate any color to the shadow, and you can assign any direction. And to do this, again, because I needed to create 4 different shadows, I created a helper function. You pass parameters such as coordinate of the layer, around which you want to create shadow. You pass the color of the original content. You want to cast shadow. You pass the color of the shadow. You pass the length of the shadow where you want it to end, X and Y. And you pass a parameter whether it's long shadow or not. If it's not, if it pass 0, it will create just a shadow in the shape of the original object. Otherwise, it will cause the long shadow. Then I'm assigning all these parameters to struct I'm going to pass to the layer. The rest is pretty much the same. I'm creating the layer, I'm adding effect, these parameters, and I'm adding the layer to the screen. And since I have 4 different numbers, I'm calling this method 4 different times. And let me show you how it goes. Actually, the config page of this phrase, if you go there, is predefined user themes that some of the users submitted to me, and I added it there. This is called Gotham for the bad signal. And let me see if we can show a couple more preset. This is project all. This is based on the original LGG. This is somebody's build called Spider-Man. I don't know why. So pretty much there are many possibilities, and you can use this effect to cast shadow in shape of the original object, and we'll repeat the shape. And last but not least, I have a small separate library. It's called Slide Layer. Currently, it's not a part of the EffectLibrary, but it definitely be because it belongs there. It allows you to smoothly slide any content on the screen from many different directions. It doesn't sound like much, but it can add a critical effect. I created the phrase called Elastic Slider, which uses this effect. We see it looks pretty cool when the digits slide this onto the screen. And let me show you how it's done. Pretty much following Pebble standards, a layer is created using layer create method. It is added to the screen using an add method. But in this case, I have 4 different numbers. I created an array of 4 direct structures and creating 4 different layers in here. And then when I need to slide the content onto the page, I actually simply called animate 2, and it goes into the screen from the direction of my choosing. And I will show you possible direction. So this is the basic original configuration to slide from the side. But if you go to the config page, you can assign any direction and switch. It's also fully user configurable. It goes directly to a slider layer. So pretty much this is it. You guys have any questions?
For the shadow effects, can you layer shadows, couple shadows, and create more 3D effects?
I tried it, but it should be definitely possible because yeah, you should be able to because the only limitation is original color and color of the background. So as long as one of the shadows is not the color of the background, you can overlay them pretty much in any shape or form. You should be able to. Thanks, guys.
So if you have more detailed questions for Yuriy, he'll be around after this. But now we want to open up into community demos. So raise your hand, who has a demo that they want to show us? I think we'll just 2. 1, 2, 3. Anybody else?
I have one that's not for time.
Totally fine. Black and white is all good. That's
Just
contrast
all
ratio,
this.
right?
That's
Yeah, that's great. All right, so let's have you come up first. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, it's fine.
And I will basically just make this full screen. So put back the door right there. I'll give you a mic. And then after 2 minutes, I'm going to yell cheers.
Oh, it's going to be less than 2 minutes. Hey guys, I'm Rob. It's a really simple app. My app is called On Track, ONTRAC. And it's just a subway app for the subway that we all know and love. So basically it's simple. You set it to your shortcut. And this just looks for whatever subway stops are near you. So it's currently very rough. It's not in color yet. It should be. It will be soon. Press this button to change the direction. And you can scroll through stops. Only have 3 stops right now, so it moves back. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. I also I have an iOS companion app that auto launches it when you walk into the radius of the station. So that effect kind of becomes really neat. That's it. That's On Track. The website is OnTrack, ONTR.ac. You can download it there. We'll be on the App Store soon.
Cool, thank you so much. What was your name?
Rob.
Hi, Rob. Thanks. All right, who wants to go next? Yeah? Come on. And what is your name?
Laura. Hey. So it's right there. Okay, so I made a simple watch face of the New York City skyline. It dynamically changes based on what color New York City currently is. Tonight it's signature white. There might be a problem with that. Anyway, demos, the sky also changes based on, what the sky is currently doing. It's about 8:20. There's support for 14 different sky states. So there's more than just sunrise, sunset, morning, night. There's all levels. There's civil twilight and all sorts of other things. There's the fireworks fire, changes color every minute. I don't know if you can see it, there's a blinking light at the very tip of the Empire State Building, real light. And it's called Top of the Pebble. Like top of the Pebble. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Nice, awesome.
Top of the Pebble. All right, we have a volunteer for next. Come on up here, sir. What is your name? Awesome.
Hi, my name is Juan. This is a watch face I just did Sunday actually.
Oh, nice.
So it's just representing my soccer team, New York NYC FC. I just got the battery here, the Bluetooth with this connector. If it's disconnected, you just show an X. And the time, the bottom, the date. That's basically it. That's what
All right, so in 4 days, you too could have watch face as cool as that. All right, next demo. Or Joe.
Joe, yes.
Hello, Joe.
Hello. So to stick with the New York City theme, this is called Pebble City, and what it does is find the closest closest city bike station to where you are, and it will find how far away you are and the cross street based on what the their API says. So it's like sort of accurate, but blame City Blake, not me. And the one cool thing that it does is that you can also switch over to a dock when you're writing if you want to find where you need to dock next. And distance works based on every like 10 seconds or so. It'll update when you're writing, which is really cool. And also what's coming next is like a little arrow indicator to say, oh, it's like up northwest or behind you when you pass it or something like that. And this is available in the App Store. Time version is being worked on, and it's all JavaScript, so no companion app required or anything. Android and iPhone. Pebble City, Pebciti, and it works in London too, because we had an open. It's open source, and someone from over there added their bike share to it. So if you have a bike share you want to add, talk to me after, and we can get you set up on the GitHub page.
All right. Who's next? Come on, Travis. I know you got one. How about we'll do Travis and then you.
No, let me go first because this is going to kick my ass.
Oh. Do you already know what's coming? Is that why?
I know it's coming. Make fun of that.
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, Travis, show us what you got. Oh, gosh, you have the phone.
So my app is called Ruby. It's a Pebble to Pebble messenger application using emojis. So awesome. And you can send emojis to another Pebble. So if I my original Pebble, everything goes well. Oh no.
It's an adorable angry sad face.
It would show up as a timeline pin on the other but that's Ruby. Oh, sorry. And then I have, I started the other day, this is just prototype kind of a Venmo client for Pebble, so you'll be able to send money to your friends, switch with your watch and stuff. So let's send somebody. There you go. Just pay somebody. Right, it's just hard coded right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, no. I just started that on Friday. So that's just really stuff. Yep. Yeah, I will go see what happens now.
All right. Last but not least, John.
I'm John. This is the first Pebble watch face that I made. It's a concept watch face. I call it solar, and basically what it does is on the outer the number, I guess, ring. It has the month, so it's June 6th, and then the day is in the middle, 24, so it's June 24th, and then it's hours, minutes, and seconds. So it was just a matter of trying to play around with the SDK to build the watch face, and play a little bit around with graphics, with drawing circles and having it move and so on. That's it.
Thanks, John. Do you have a question? Oh yeah, definitely. Come up here. More demos. All All right, so Malcolm
Yes.
is going to show us a demo.
Black and white and not timeline. Yep. But that's okay. So I built an app that solves something very specific for me in my life. I do user research and usability, and basically I have this really bad habit of walking out to meet a participant and immediately forgetting their name or anything about them. It's kind of a long day. So what I did, basically using entirely, and I'm not a developer, I would like to start by saying that very specifically. The basic HTML that I have, a little bit of JSON, is effectively, if this will actually show up, maybe if we can re-expose it.
Yes.
So that's a Google Sheet, which has basic information. It's literally a little bit of information, the time that they're there, their name, gender, which isn't showing up here. There it is. And age range. All of this is just inputted by hand. In the Pebble, it then reads from the Google Sheet. Will this refocus? So refocuses and we'll pull all of that, not refocus, sorry. We'll pull all of this information from the Google Sheet and show it as a watch face. So I can see the time, the date, which is very important just in my actual work and typing. Their name, their participant number, which is super important when I need to like save their recording. The time that they're in there, so I can actually see it as basically how much time we have left. And then age and gender, which is really useful when I walk outside and I don't remember anything about them, and I don't have to like look at them on the spreadsheet. So that's it.
Do we have newbies walking in? Hello, new people. Okay. Hello, people that work at Grovo. Speaking of Grovo, we're going to have Alessandro come and talk a little bit about Grovo while Lukash and I deliberate, I believe.
Hello, welcome for coming, everyone. No, it's fine. There's no application. I did not build an application, but hopefully for our next meetup, I'll have something to demo. So I'm a senior software engineer here at Grovo. We've been around for almost 5 years. This is our 5th office at this point. Moved around once a year for each office. We're an online training company, but not training in the sense of like, oh, people sit down in a classroom and get boring training, or someone views a 4-hour video on stuff that they mostly won't use on a day-to-day basis, right? We create 60 to 90-second videos that are generally packaged in like courses, if you will, about specific topics, generally also modern topics. So like, how can an employee that works in marketing use Google ads or Facebook ads or even Twitter ads even, is relatively new for marketers to promote their brand or promote specific products. We also do training on more conceptual things like online etiquette or netiquette, how to pay out your inbox, and how to write, just be nice in business generally. That's actually very important very important material for some companies. So we generate our own content, and we also allow enterprises to upload their own content in our platform. And the platform allows them to choose, mix and match, so they can have their own proprietary content on some very specific software to use, let's say construction, and also teach them how to advertise their construction company on Twitter, all in one go. So like I said, we've been around for 5 years. The main difference between us and other training companies, besides the type of content that we offer, is the user experience. So as you probably know, user experience is very important. We actually have a really awesome UX team that we built relatively recently, but has been doing an amazing job. But since day one, that's been a real focus for us. So we started as a consumer company at first, and so the experience that employees see every day, so employees of these large enterprises that receive the training via Grovo, is for employees, not for admins. So they get a really nice interface, really nice video player, really nice PDF viewer. Like you can also do other types of content on Grovo. And it's really tailored for them. So, and it's also responsive on mobile. We have an iOS app that we're developing. So you've got a lot of features, and you have flexibility to basically train at any time. And we got 69-second videos. You can do a couple of trainings on the subway, or while you're walking, or while, I don't know, just waiting for a meeting. Again, it's not like 4-hour meeting videos that you don't really retain anything on. We have quick quizzes afterwards and stuff like that. And that platform side of things, we also it's pretty nice as well. In terms of UX, it's not as clunky as some stuff was built in the 90s. I won't mention names. So I'm again an engineer at Grovo. We have a ton of awesome teams that are not engineering, but you guys are also engineers. I'll pitch into the engineering team. We've been hiring like crazy. We're looking for the DevOps people, product UX people. We're looking for just general software developers to work on our PHP and Python applications and other things like that. We're switching now from a relatively monolithic application to microservices and more distributed systems. We're completely on cloud. So you guys are interested in solving those kind of problems in terms of scaling infrastructure and architecture, and kind of taking existing business concepts and scaling them at really large scales. And some enterprises have hundreds, thousands of users around the world. Feel free to talk to me afterwards, or this is part of should be on the table there. And I'm always available on Twitter. Just hashtag Pebble NYC is the hashtag for this event. I'll look at it and I'll find you guys there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the view here. It's really amazing view after we announced the Pebble time winner. And if you guys also want, I can give you guys a quick tour once we start networking around the office. Again, 360 reviews and really convenient subway commute. So I don't know what else to tell you to make you work here. Yeah. You guys have any questions about Grovo or I don't know, anything else? All right, cool. Hopefully you guys deliberated.
We did.
Yay, awesome.
Deliberation.
What is the judgment process, by the way?
Us talking. Well, so it's a lot of.
You need to go to my process. Yeah, so at most of the meetups that we've done, it's been a lot of either it's like a black and white app that we really want to see in color, or it's a developer who has a lot of promise who I think we feel deserves a Pebble time that maybe doesn't happen already. And in this case, before most people got here, we saw it working and it was really cool. And we'd like him to come up and actually show it working because it's really awesome and it's something that I've been using recently as well. So I had no idea he was also working on another app, which I think is really cool because it's something that we have been working on internally as well. And anything the community does that we don't have to do ourselves, of course, obviously is really great. So I would love for Travis to come up and show Goofy. One thing that's really cool about this is that I'm sure a lot of you know on Android you have actionable notifications and you've had them for a while, but on iOS you really don't have any kind of back and forth communication. And so this was one of the first few applications that I saw where you could actually respond back on iOS because you get around notifications with timeline pins. So you can respond and with the more gesture on a timeline pin, you can send things back to an application or send things back to the phone that then communicates, and you can do so on iOS and on Android. So this can be used for, I'm going to do your own sales pitch for you. This can be used on both Android and iOS. You know, Android can talk to iOS and back and forth, or iOS can talk to iOS and send back pins to each other. So it's sort of a form of communication without actually having, you know, like SMS communication. So, all right, now you can show us how it works.
So what happens when you send a pin is it's connected to a server that I run that's just a Python Flask application that sends the pins out. It's based on pairing, so you pair to one person, and they can send you pins and you can send them pins. So, and
That's a pin.
yeah, they're all timeline pins. It's all timeline based. I'm not running a push notification server or anything like that. It's all just through Pebble. I go back. If I had another Pebble time, you would be able to just send. So that's Ruby. your timeline.
Yay!
Yeah, it's on the App Store now. It's Android, iOS, no companion apps or anything.
So, we still have way too much food and way too much beer and soda, so please help me with this problem. But yeah, so I'm here. Lukash has been in the shadows, but he's actually the creator of a lot of our pretty famous watch faces. If you just search for LUKASD on the watch face app store, I guess you can see a ton of the stuff that he's done, like modern and dots and a lot of other ones that we use. So if you want to know more about like coding techniques or things to do similar to EffectLibrary with Yuriy, he would be a good person to ask. And I'm here just in general to answer questions about Pebble or kind of what we do in outreach and hackathons and all kinds of stuff like that. That's pretty much what I do. So, yes, talk about yourselves, eat food, drinks, and celebrate. And look at the pretty view outside. It's gorgeous. So this is something that we want to do monthly, bi-monthly. We'll kind of feel it out. Let us know, do you like Wednesdays? Would you rather have it be a Thursday? Would you rather be, like a weekend workshop? Kind of what are you guys interested in from the community? Because this is the first one, so it's a total new thing for us. We don't have a base here in New York, but we actually have one of our employees who's our DevOps guy who lives in New York City. So he ironically is in San Francisco right now, something else. And I'm from San Francisco here. So if you want to meet other Pebble people, there will be ones in the future. I just want to myself. Lukash is going back to Poland. So yeah, that's us. Question. Comment.
Your app store doesn't have a button to search. I had the URL app to get there.
What do you mean? To search?
Yeah.
Like
the web view does it. Yes.
the web view does it?
Web view does it, but the desktop is not.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to like open some bubble app.
But
Not that, actual web page. There is a custom site created by somebody at the URL.
So one of our developers created for the website that runs the App Store, but that's the custom. The official one does not.
oh, this one.
It's a different database session line.
So if you go to pas.cpfx.ca, it's a super great website URL that everybody knows. It's the Pebble App Store. I don't know whose company this was, but cpfx.ca is who made the app. But it's basically just renders the entire App Store in and mobile view. That's what we use. So sorry, I didn't know.
I just URL that. I just guessed. Sorry. Search.
Any other comments, questions for the general crew? What's that?
I have one more technical question.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the what you can do with the microphone and the time devices? Like, does it capture samples?
Come this way.
So right now we don't have the public API for the microphone yet. It's probably gonna happen soon. But what I expect what it would be able to do is probably send the voice samples to the phone and maybe use our recognition service to just retrieve the text. But that's something that works.
So will we be able to get everyone's samples?
Maybe it's up to me.
DVD. Any other questions? Yeah.
Is there a recommended ID either setup or configure or anything for the C development for Pebble?
It's the cloud Pebble, the official suggested development is the cloud Pebble.
Even for just C?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a local tool that has the emulator built in. You can download the SDK locally if you're on Mac or Linux, but we don't have a solution yet for this.
Gotcha. Because I set it up in Xcode, which was really nice. Like hooked to the build script and the normal Xcode stuff works, but SDK3 totally broke it. So I was wondering if there was something more native to the machine I was on. But if the web one's the way to go, then cool.
Yeah.
If it broke it, you should let us know and get support about what you're doing and what broke it.
Will do. Okay.
I were to create a JavaScript project, it creates a Pebble Kit JavaScript.
That is different than Pebble.js.
Oh yeah?
That is, so Pebble Kit JS is a way for your C application to communicate via JavaScript with the world. So that's different than the JavaScript library that was created, which is Pebble.js.
So should I just import the Pebble.js resource somehow? Or yes, it's not kind of built through the JavaScript.
No, I've mentioned it locally. I can ask the creator of it. Well, yeah. It's a community-based project, so if you are on GitHub, you can actually you yourself contribute to the Pebble.js community. It's just an open source community project that got started by someone who wasn't a part of Pebble, and then we hired him later on onto the firmware team, and it's now sort of like an internal project as well. But yeah.
Okay.